Let's talk about net zero homes. A net zero home produces enough energy in the calendar year to completely compensate for its electrical demand. So we do that with solar energy, and there's the graph that we use when we're designing a net zero system. This one's even, so 33% electrical, structural, and mechanical. But that graph can change based on how good your home is in any one of those three ways. So structure, like basically, if you have a really good structure, really tight building envelope, then you won't necessarily need to produce as much power. You won't really need to have as efficient mechanical equipment. And all these things are subject to change a little bit. So for a structure, if you want to make it really easy to net zero your house, you're looking for a tight building envelope as possible. You want to upgrade your insulation. Passive built structures are good for net zero. They require, because they hold on to the heat that they're created, and they're cooled very, very easily. They're very easy to compensate for the electrical demand because it's not very high. Passive solar heat due to window position and orientation of the home. If you're building the house new, you can say, I want it oriented this way. I want tall windows in this section so that it heats passively. And you want to prevent air leakage, spray foam insulation, upgraded windows, weather stripping and caulking around your windows. And that'll keep the tightness of your home. Mechanical, you want very high quality heat recovery ventilator. So we have a heat recovery ventilator that when it's 90% of the time when it's operating, it's maintaining 80% of the heat inside your house, and that's the type of HRV that you want to install in your home, because you want to circulate air from the inside to the outside, because especially if you have a really tight house, but you also want to maintain the heat part of that circulation. You don't want to just be losing that in the wintertime because it costs a lot of money to heat your house. Efficiency air. You want a high efficiency air-to-air heat pump for heating and cooling. You want high efficiency air-to-water heat pump for domestic hot water or in-floor radiant heat, or both. And you want high efficiency electrical appliances as well. So you want to reduce the amount of electricity that you spend in just operating your house. So you want high efficiency electrical appliances, range, refrigerator, microwave, dishwasher, all the inner guide stuff. And then, of course, we're going to go to electrical. If you don't already have 200 amp service, you definitely want to upgrade to 200 amp service so that you'd be eligible to interconnect and have solar panels on your roof or in your backyard. You want to have a design and install solar array to compensate for the annual demand. So you're going to produce a lot more in the summer than you produce in the wintertime, just because the sun's at a better spot. But the way the interconnection net metering contract goes is it's a credit system. So even though you're producing less in the winter, you're using those credits that you overproduced in the summer to compensate for that demand. So it's on an annual basis that your net zero applies. You want to tie the array into a hybrid off-grid / grid-tied inverter. So basically that means, which is important, a lot of people don't get this with solar. They think just solar panels on the roof, great. If the power goes out, I still got power. And no, you don't. 90% of the solar arrays out there, if the power goes out, it doesn't matter if it's been sunny for 3 days. If the grid's down, you are not able to access your own power that you're producing on your roof. A lot of people don't get that, and it's very important. So you want to make sure that you're using a hybrid off-grid / grid-tied inverter so that when the grid goes down and it's sunny out, you still can power your home. It's very, very important for secure backup compatibility. You want to install an EV charger as well. Gas-powered vehicles are going to be a thing of the past pretty quick. And if you install an EV charger, not only are you going to be able to power your home for free, but you're going to be able to get around for free, which is pretty good. And then you want battery storage as well, because you never know what's going to happen. Battery storage is going to give you the security of knowing that if the grid goes down for several days or weeks, you're going to be able to use the power that you produce in the daytime overnight. Okay, every home can be made net zero. If it's something that you want to do, talk to a professional. You can talk to me and I can help you with it, who can recommend the most cost-effective path for your home. And you have to remember that when you purchase a new home, that new home comes with an operating cost. And if you can net zero your home for less than the monthly cost of, net zero your home for less monthly cost than the operating cost of your home, I feel that you should be obliged to do so. And that's for environmental reasons. So let's say you bought a new $400,000 home and it's a big home, and it's going to cost you $300 a month to operate this house in electrical costs. Well, if I showed you a way that you could do a purchase plus improvements mortgage on that house, so instead of paying $400,000, you pay $450,000, let's say, for this house, but you get all brand new equipment, mechanical, electrical, and mechanical and electrical equipment with warranties on it, and now you're net zero, so your electricity costs you nothing, but your mortgage went up by $260 a month. Well, you're in that scenario, you're still saving $40 a month, right? And you're net zero, you're carbon neutral, you're doing the right thing for the environment. So I almost feel like you should feel obliged, if you're buying a new house, look into making it net zero. Even if you own a house now and you're about to renew your mortgage, look into making it net zero. If you can make it net zero for less than the cost of what your operating cost is, you should do that. You should do that for the environment. You should do it for yourself. You'll feel great about it. And saving money is always good too. So that's a net zero home. Now I want to talk about true net zero home. So a true net zero home not only produces